All right, y'all, we are live on this beautiful Wednesday morning. God bless everybody in Jesus' name and Yeshua's name. I do pray you and your family are super blessed. As today, man, we are awaiting the big news. PPI, Producer Price Index, where we're going to find out how much money producers are paying for products that they produce in their factories. Now, we're going to see what it is. Is it going to be the same as they think? You know, it's come down a little bit here. You could see if we look at the graph. Well, let's turn that graph off. I don't understand what that's saying. But we can see here it's come down from 0.9 to 0.3%. And if it stays at 0.3% or even lower, wow, that could be pretty interesting, considering tomorrow we're going to find out not what the producers are paying, but what the consumers are paying, aka inflación, which is another word for inflation. Again, very interesting times, because if inflation is lower than expected, that would be very, I guess on paper, bullish for crypto. If it's higher than expected, that could really put a monkey wrench in the rate cut that's going to be happening next week. But as we lead up to next week, which is the rate cut decision, where 90% are considering definitely there's going to be a rate cut of 25 basis points, but 8.3% are saying, you know what, we might get a 50 basis point cut. Now, today and tomorrow, I think this will really affect what people are assuming is going to happen. And by the way, the CME Group FedWatch is pretty accurate. I mean, they pretty much always get it right on the money. They hit the nail right on the hammer. They hit the hammer right on the head of the nail in the coffin and all those types of sayings. But today and tomorrow is going to really set this up, because today, PPI, if this is lower than expected, tomorrow CPI lower than expected, that is probably going to make more people assume a 50 basis point cut. And that is going to cause massive amounts of volatility in the market, and we might see some of that volatility today, which is why I did take a poll. Is PPI going to rock the markets? And 58% say, sí, señor. Sí, señor Jason. Sí, señor. Sí. Now, we got to give a major shout to everybody in the chat. First of all, a major shout out to Jay Becker. A major shout out to Mega Infinite Money Markets and Protagonist, who says Ikenda Cash is a sleeping giant and IOTA will go parabolic. Man, you are taking me back, Protagonist, to the 2017-2018 crypto bull run, when the internet of everything was really being talked about. And then people kind of forgot about it, right? People forgot about the Internet of Things. You know, now that our refrigerators text us and let us know that the tomatoes are rotten in the back drawer, connected to the internet, you know, smart homes and all this, but we forgot about IOTA. Maybe IOTA is a sleeping giant. Not sure, but that really takes me back. All right. Shout out to Retail Ryan, and shout out to Jay Wheels. Shout out to Unseen TV, UK, Tony James. Let's go, Jason, top guy, top show. God bless you, bro. Shout out to Leastengex, who says, kiss the cam, please. It's too far away from my lips. It's too far. Shout out to Tina D. Shout out to Alec, Louisiana. Jesus is king. Amen. And not only is he king, but Jesus is coming back. He's coming back to take what he has redeemed for himself. Shout out to Axel, who says, looking smiley, smiley. We're happy today, guys. It's a happy day. We got our purple shirt. We got our blue hat. We got our mustache. You know, we got our mustache on here. All right. Shout out to Subscribe Media Digital. And shout out to Captain Happy. Shout out to David Fear. Shout out to Petty K. What's my entry trigger when at a key level? Usually a divergence. Shout out to Vincent. Just got my bachelor's degree in trans non-carbon binary emission gender intersectionality studies. Thanks to you, Jason. You're such an inspiration. And in the community. Thanks for all you do. Well, thank you, bro. And shout out to Pasternak88. Shout out to Ducard. And shout out to Big Ways. He says, Ayo, God bless everyone on this stream, and make sure to smash the like button. It's a long green button. Yeah. Shout out to Luswigingen, who says, let's go. And shout out to Cookie Sunny Z and Zero. All right, so let's pop into it. As you guys can see, I'm still in the long trade that I've literally been in since September 1st. Okay? Long trade since September 1st, waiting for the big move. Haven't seen much anything yet. And also, guys, if we can get 1,000 likes in the first half hour, we'll be giving away 1,000 USDT. I mean, this is something we do every single stream. All right. Now, let's take a quick look at the Bitcoin chart, because we have about 15 minutes until the data comes out. So we're going to start over on the order flow. By the way, guys, remember, if you want to sign up to the Casper crew, JasonCasperTrading.com, trading on KCEX, WEEX, and BLOFIN. Now, let's head on over to the order flow chart take a little look at what's happening here. Let's put on my new layout here. Okay, cool. So here's what we got going on. This is quite interesting. This is taking us all the way back to September 1st when we made this bottom here. This is actually the 4-hour chart, and we can actually see we were pretty much forming some bullish CVD divergences here, right? We saw some shorts being absorbed, actually a little bit of local bullish CVD here as well. Nothing too crazy here. Nothing too crazy, man. I gotta be honest. Let's zoom into a lower time frame here. Let's go to our 15-minute chart and just look more locally at what's been going on here. So we've had like a decrease of open interest on this last move to the upside. You know, it's quite interesting what happened here. We've pretty much just been ranging, chopping around. If we go to a oh yeah, let's go back to my trade here on KCEX. I mean, it's pretty crazy, right? We get a move up, we reject from like the key level right around the top of the range. We come down, we bounce from the Fibonacci golden pocket. We come up, we reject from the value area high again. We come down, we bounce from the Fibonacci 786. We come up, we're like literally making like a triple top here, get a little bit of a move, but now we're trying to range and come back up. And the market is basically waiting right now for, in my opinion, for news to be announced. All right, we're gonna wait and see what PPI is going to be. That's going to set the stage. We're going to see what CPI is going to be. That's going to set the stage. And then next week is going to be the most historic moment for Bitcoin in the history of Bitcoin. The most historic moment for Bitcoin in the history of Bitcoin. Now, coming back over to the actual chart here. When is the PPI? It's happening in about 13 minutes. All right. People don't like money. People are not liking it. It's true. People don't like money. That's 100% true. Look, money sucks, doesn't it? Money does suck. Let's be honest. Man, look at this grindy price action here. Okay, so, you know, long story short here. Short story. Usually I give the short story long on the Jason Casper YouTube channel. I have a gift for making short stories long. But right now, long story short is this. We are holding key support at, let's just call it 109,000. All right, and we are knocking on the doorway, trying to get back inside of this old range here. You know, we go ahead and pull the volume of this old range. This is literally what's been blocking us, is the value area low of this last range that we were in since July 10th. And so if we can reclaim 113, we are going to get rocket ship sucked up to $117.9, $118,000. And most likely, in my opinion, make a new all-time high. The 3-day time frame right now, in my opinion, looks pretty dang bullish. I mean, it's pretty crazy to see this pattern on the 3-day time frame. The money flow getting thicker. The green dot, which didn't confirm yesterday, but might confirm today. This looks like this could really give us that push we need to come back up to the top of this local range here. We go to our 4-day. You know, the 4-day is starting to look a little bit sad. This yellow oscillator here, this yellow line, starting to look a little bit like it's going to curve back down. But again, all we really need is a move above 113, and this will change. We will see this thing start to come up and cross that zero line. We go to our 2-day, we have a confirmed hidden bullish divergence. That actually confirmed back on September 4th, so it's been a while here. And so far, this yellow oscillator is still looking good. We go to our daily time frame. And again, there's plenty of room here for more upside on this momentum wave. It's been a slow, painful kind of thing. But I do have to say, we have printed a big bottom here on the daily. Those are rare. The last big bottoms we got in the daily were the bottom back in April. All right, you don't print a big bottom on the daily and not get follow through. Okay, so like worst case scenario, I mean, like back here we had a bullish divergence. So like in my opinion, worst case scenario, we end up with a bullish divergence here. You know, I mean, worst case scenario, you know, we just end up with a nice bullish divergence where the price makes a lower low and the oscillator makes a higher low, you know, something like this. You know, price is down around 37K and the oscillator is making a higher low. Now, of course, I'm joking about that, but, you know, if we do come back down to, let's say, like 105, let's say, for example, all these news events lead to a massive liquidity grab to the downside, right? I still think it looks really bullish having printed a big bottom on the daily if we do something like this, because then we would have the price coming lower and the oscillator coming higher like that. And as we all know, this is the classic uneven butt cheek pattern. All right, the classic uneven cheek pattern. Big on the left, skinny on the right. That's what gives us the big rise to the upside. So far, you know, we don't have that skinny cheek. We just have the big momentum, the trigger, the anchor wave, as it's called, as we call it in our market cipher circles, right? Those MCCs, as they're known in the inner group of us market cipher traders. You know what I'm saying? So this is where we stand, and we are expecting some volatility to actually come in with PPI. All right. So I'm very excited to see in about 10 minutes what is going to be happening here, and let's just talk about key levels to the upside. So once Bitcoin starts to move to the upside, like I said, the target is going to be the Fibonacci golden pocket confluence with the high volume node of this previous range. It's coming in right around 118,000. You can see very clearly that there's really not much resistance, pretty much at all. Once we reclaim this green line, let's just zoom in to show the clarity here. Once we reclaim this green line, there's nothing here until we're back up at the POC of that range. And then if we flip that POC into support, right, we get to move up. Let's say we'll most likely get a little bit of a rejection here. We make a higher low, and then we come up above, and probably, you know, we'll see some consolidation here, and then boom, right? Some kind of consolidation around the POC, and then kaboom, baby. All right. Very similar to what we saw over here. Look at this. We come up to the POC. We literally, to the dollar, get a rejection from it. Then we break above, and we come back down to back test it, and then boom, we hit our new all-time high. That's what we would be looking for here, right? Get a little bit of a rejection, come above, back test it, and then boom, we go to the ATH, baby. ATH, not to be confused with ATL. All right. Now, to the downside, I would still say this. Remember, we are in a zone of support, and I would prefer right now not to come down and make another lower low. But technically speaking, even if we're holding 105, I'd say this is still our support zone. So we could come down a little bit lower here and form the nice rounded bottom with the nice bullish divergence. All right. And that could give us the move to the upside. Now, why would I still be bullish again if we came down lower? It really is because we have hidden divergences on our 3-day, money flow getting thicker, hidden divergences on the 2-day here, and I understand that the money flow is getting lower on the 2-day and on the 1-day, but you know, look, this is where I'm gonna have to just lean on my gut here and believe that the Bitcoin pump is not over. All right, the Bitcoin pump is not over. I feel like we're going to hit new highs. Now, could I be wrong? Absolutely. And as the 4-year cycle, could that be broken? Absolutely. You know, it is 500 days past the halving where typically we hit the all-time highs. So that's why I'm expecting another big push very soon, because around that 500-day mark, that's where we get the final top. Now, could this time be different? Institutional money, BlackRock, Grey Rock, Blue Rock, Ethereum ETFs, XR Pizzle ETFs, you know, Donald Trump, Michael Saylor, all these types, institutions, you know, super cycles. Yeah, cool. Might happen. But for right now, until we get something different, I'm going to have to assume same old, same old. You know, it's like when you go to McDonald's, right? You go to McDonald's, you order a McDouble. Do you expect something different? No. You go to McDonald's, you order a McChicken, right? You expect it to be different than last time? No. Why? Because history repeats itself. All right, things happen in cycles. You know, this time I'm gonna eat healthy. I'm gonna go on that diet now, right? Eat salad for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, maybe a little bit of grilled chicken, some avocado. You know, that lasts for about 3 weeks. And then once the cycle is over, you're back at McDonald's at 2 a.m. ordering the McChicken and the McDouble, and you expect it to be the same as last time. Then you're disgusted with yourself one day. You decide, oh, gonna have to go back to the salad and chicken breast. The cycle repeats. It's the same as last time. You say it's going to be different this time. This time I'm going to keep eating healthy. This time I'm going to keep going to the gym. This time I'm going to keep getting enough sleep. But no, it just lasts for a cycle, right? It's just a cycle. Things happen in cycles. They happen in patterns. All right, we got about 5 minutes. What does PPI stand for? It stands for Producer Price Index. I'm trying to think of something stupid to say, but I couldn't think of it in time. All right. $1 million in 5 years. We're talking about Bitcoin. I do think it's possible. I think a $1 million Bitcoin in 5 years is absolutely possible. The reason why I think that is because we know blockchain technology is the future. We know for sure that this is the future of finance. Right? There's no way, especially, like, man, I was just talking to my dad about this the other night. Like, the only way, with all this AI stuff, the only way we are going to be able to verify that, like, for example, let's say the president says something, or you say something. The only way to verify that's really, truly coming from that person is going to be if everything is on the blockchain. If everything's on a public ledger, right? With all this AI stuff, right now we live in a weird world where we cannot trust anything. And we've been in that world for a long time, right? Because the technology that they give to us plebs, like ChatGPT and all this, that's like years behind what they already got, right? That's years behind what they already got. So literally nothing you see or hear or anything can be trusted or verified unless it was on a blockchain, right? So the future of everything is blockchain. And if Bitcoin, like, we've already seen the Federal Reserve with their FedNow program and all this, talking about how they're going to be building upon the existing blockchain interface, networks, I should say. Like the infrastructure, I should say, not interface, the existing blockchain infrastructure. So Bitcoin, Ethereum, these things already exist. And so I think we're just going to see traditional finance start to work on top of the existing blockchain infrastructure, in which case Bitcoin very well may be like that store of value that's operating behind the scenes, in which case, yeah, we could see Bitcoin go up greatly in value. Of course, when we're changing financial systems and structure like that, it's like, is the dollar itself going to be the measuring stick that we use to measure the value of Bitcoin anymore? There's a whole bunch of variables. It's interesting. People always want to judge things against the dollar, which is like a failing fiat currency, which literally has, like, its purchasing power has been cut in half in the last 5 years. So why do we keep measuring things against the dollar? But whatever, you know. I do think Bitcoin will continue to increase in purchasing power in the future. Let's just put it that way. We have 2 minutes until the news. I'm very excited, guys. Whew. You guys feeling that? Those are called butterflies in the stomach, baby. Make sure to smash up the likes. Shout out to Crypto Coons. Shout out to Help. Shout out to Darmish. He says, Pump Song, let's go. Barf. DOD had PPI once, and the medics gave him penicillin for his PPI. Okay, cool. That's good to know. Today we're going up. I hope so. Yeah, we'll be chained to the block, Joe Potter, for sure. That's the future that we all have to look forward to, being chained to the block. But look, we don't all have to do that if we don't want to, but a lot of us will want to, and it will be very appealing to want to. There will be a lot of things that we can enjoy by being chained to the block. You know what I'm saying? It's like all technologies. You're trading your freedom for convenience and just to really fit in. I mean, imagine if you didn't have an email address today and you tried to get a job. You go into a store, try to get a job, they say, hey, go apply online. You're like, well, I don't have an email address. They're like, oh, well, sorry. You know? So, we're all going to have to become Amish. We'll all have to become Amish, live off the land. All right, now, hang on. We got 1 minute until the news. Let's go ahead on and refresh the screen. Whew. There's usually a countdown here, but there's not today. All right, let's go to the 5-minute time frame here. Very soon we're going to get the news. Oh, man. You guys feeling that? Whew. Okay, let's see. 1 minute. Come on. Forex Factory. Come on. Refresh. Come on. Uh-oh. It's 8:30. Something must be wrong. Whoa! We're getting a massive blue candle, baby. Oh my god. Oh no! Pump and dump. I was hoping for a dump and pump. We're getting a pump and dump. All right, we're coming up to the key level 113. Bitcoin rose above 113. Whoa! Massive blue candle, baby. Oh my goodness. We're coming up to the key CDW right here. All right. 113,629. This is insane. We are breaking into the value area low. Let's see if we can do it. Oh man. Oh man. Oh baby. All right, let's go over to TradingView real quick. Man, look at that. Talk about a blue candle. Man, it's usually not good when you get a blue candle on news, guys. Let's quickly go to our 12-minute market cipher. Let's see if we have bearish divs. We do have a little bit of bearish div here. Let's go to the 24-minute. A little bit of bearish div, but money flow looks good. Let's go to the 6-minute. 6-minute. Oh, yeah, we got some bearish div here. Yeah, we got some bearish div. Dang it. Dang it. We're not. It looks like we're not going to break it. Looks like we're just going to take the liquidity and run. Look at that. Take the liquidity and run, baby. Take the liquidity and run. That's just what Bitcoin loves to do. It's never good to get a pump first thing in the morning. Actually, that's not true. I love to get a pump first thing in the morning. Going to the gym and getting that nice chest and arm pump, you know. It's leg day, but you know, you set up the squat rack, but you end up curling the barbell, and then you might as well just do curls only, right? Might as well just do curls only. You know, the best way to warm up for squats is to do curls and then not squat. All right, so we've got ourselves this purple candle now. It looks like just a simple pump and dump. Let's check out the order flow real quick. Yeah, look at that guy. I mean, look at that, right? We wick up right to that key level. Man, can we hold it? Let's go to Market Monkey here and check it out. Look at this. We had some short orders filled there, 83 million. And we had a lot of longs just come in upon that news. Top longers long in the dang news. Would you look at that? Look at this. Look at this. 239 million longs in this one candle. Oh my goodness. All right, so for some reason, guys, I'm not able to see the PPI. Oh wow. Oh my goodness. Guys, this is so much lower than expected. This is very bullish on paper. I wonder if this has already changed. We see this change a lot. Nah, still the same for now. Okay, so yeah, so PPI is lower than expected. That's crazy. That is bullish on paper for crypto assets, man. That is bullish. Maybe this is the start of something real here. Maybe we actually do rally into FOMC. Whatever happens now, I don't trust, right? You can never trust a news candle. You know, never long a bullish news candle. It works out maybe like 25% of the time, a bullish news candle. But look, I'm up right now about $13,000 unrealized. You know, it's crazy. In one candle, this could be back down to 8,000. I could lose $5,000 in minutes just by this one candle here. All right. So, okay. So that is quite bullish. I'm not going to lie, but so far we are actually holding support. So we're going to take a quick look, and we got to give a major shout out to our super chat, the last tin can. Thanks for help, man. AVAX is pumping. Man, that's awesome. I do hold quite a bit of AVAX myself. Okay. So here's the deal, guys. We want to hold 113. It's the support resistance flip. Let's go to the 1 hour. You know, 113, right around there. Yeah, we definitely want to hold. What would be better is to actually hold above 113,446. The reason why we're finding resistance here is simply because of this, guys. Whenever you build like liquidity where you have a high and then a lower high and then a lower high, right? It's pretty much we're pretty much just stopping these people out and then dumping the price. And especially when you have people longing the top like that, it's easy for them to get trapped. Let's go back to the order flow chart and see exactly where they longed. I'm going to go ahead and put on a delta cluster here. I know you guys can't see it yet. Give me some time. All right, give me some time. Everybody's so impatient. They're like, Jason, we can't see. We can't see, Jason. It's like, I know. I know. Give me some time. Give me some time. All right. Wow. Okay, so, you know, literally at the top, this is crazy. Give me some time. Let's see. Are these guys going to be able to push us through? Literally at the top, we have 62 million longs opening here at the exact top. Look at this, 10 million longs, 17 million longs, 13 million, 24 million, 21 million. I mean, this is pretty crazy, the amount of longs that have opened up at the top here. Look at this. Look at millions of them. Millions of them. At each price point, right? 113, 384, 16 million longs, all right? Right at the top here, we have about 100 million longs, just right at the exact top. Man, can you imagine longing at the exact top? It might work out, and I hope it does. I hope it does for them, and, you know, I'm long too. But, man, let's see. Let's go a little bit lower. We got some imbalances in here. We got a lot of longs coming in. I mean, most of the volume of this candle is at the top, guys. That's interesting. Most of the volume is actually right here. But look at this. We do have some shorts trapped too. We do have some shorts trapped. Massive increase of open interest. The volume is really coming in. $1.5 billion candle. This 1 5-minute candle here. 1.5 billion. That's crazy. All right. I mean, this is a 15-minute candle. It's been about 5 minutes. So, man, I would hate to be the guy $100 million long at the exact top of this candle. Yeah, so we have 2 key levels here. You know, we do want to hold above 113.2. And we're going to see what happens as New York opens here. Let's zoom in even more on the order flow chart right now. And let's see if we have any kind of like bearish CBD forming. We're going to go to the 5-second here. Looks like the 5-second isn't quite ready to go. Let's go to the 1 minute. Do we have bearish CBD? No, not yet. No bearish. Yeah, actually we do. We do have a little bit of bearish CBD. There. We do have a little bit of bearish CBD here. You can see an increase of OI, more longs opening up. Let's see here. Wow, look at that. In a 1 minute candle, 50 million longs opening literally at the top. That's crazy. 50 million longs opening right at the exact high. Now, again, look, I'm just telling you this information. I personally, like, here's the thing. I would never, ever long this level. That's why I'm talking about these things. Because it is pretty crazy to me to think that we've had, since September 1st, we've been bouncing from support. All right, we've been holding support since September 1st. Since September 1st. And we've come up to this high. 1, 2, this is now our 3rd time. And you have all this time to long, right? But all of a sudden now, once we're at resistance, you decide to go $100 million in on the market when you had all this other time to take a trade from much lower. It just doesn't make sense to me. I guess they're just waiting on the news, but that's a really dangerous thing to do because, I mean, news events, they wreck so many people. I'm not saying we can't pump from here. I'm just saying why, you know, this kind of money, that's crazy. $100 million here, you know. But I hope we do pump, right? For the sake of my own long trades, I hope we do pump here. All right, I hope we break out. I hope this is the day that we finally see these hidden bullish divergences on these high time frames start to play out here. All right, let's go back to Market Cypher. Make sure to smash up the likes. We got over 1,600 people in the house. Only 300 likes, man. That really hurts the self-esteem since my entire self-worth is wrapped up into how many likes I get on YouTube. You know, just a small price to pay, though, for being a world-famous technical analyst, is that your self-worth is completely tied up within your own likes and subscribes. So the 4-hour money flow is getting thicker here. We've had consolidation. Let's go to our 24. We do have, so here's the thing, on all these time frames, we have slight bear divs forming, but money flow looks bullish. So money flow looks bullish on all these time frames, but we have bearish divergences. So this could, we're probably gonna, I don't know what's going to happen right now, but if we start to change market structure here, obviously that's really bearish, right? Let's see here. Let's go ahead and put a key line. This is going to be our key level right here, okay? We don't want to lose it. We want to hold above this. We want to consolidate here. We don't want to come back into this range. You know, maybe we just fill these, you know, come back down to test the zone that we have from the support resistance flip, right? But we definitely don't want to lose that. All right. And remember, if we do lose that, we have like over 100 million longs trapped at the exact high, right? Which is fuel for liquidation. When you get trapped longs at the top, that is fuel for the market makers to liquidate those longs to then push the price up again. So just be aware of that. We might get a big move on New York Open today. So in about a little bit, we're going to do the Casper Crew VIP live stream, where we're going to be looking for the juicy day trade setups like we do in the Casper Crew at jasoncaspertrading.com, where we give the trade setups in advance and in real time. The good news right here, guys, is that we are currently holding the value area high of the range. That is the good news right here. And we got to give a major shout out to Infinity Creations with a super sticker, a red rose. Why, thank you so much for the red rose. May the Lord bless you. Let's give a shout out to everybody in the chat right now. US Open breakout. Yeah, let's see. Chinese rich people can long whatever they want. They control the market. Do I use spot CBD or futures? This is aggregated futures CBD that I'm using right now. I'm using currently aggregated futures CBD. Preparing for war says money flow is king. Yeah, money flow is definitely king, which obviously I'm not going to get bearish from here, but all I'm saying is there's definitely room for a big drop before a pump. Definitely room for a big drop before a pump here. Simply because bear div here, bear div here. I mean, technically bear div on the 1 hour. So when you have bear divs with money flow getting thicker, although money flow is king, don't be surprised if we find ourselves back down at where we've been coming to, right? Don't be surprised. Again, I like everything I'm saying here. For me right now, there is no long opportunity, even if we're going to pump. And the reason is because the way I trade is, I'm never going to be longing resistance. Even if I think there's a good chance we break out, I just can't do it. All right, I can't do it. We long the bottom, right? That's how we do it. We don't FOMO because of news. We plan. We wait. We execute when the moment's right, and we lock in the profits. All right. We plan. We wait. We execute when the moment's right. We lock in the profits, baby. You know, we plan. We execute when the moment's right. We lock in the juicy profits. You know what I'm saying? That's the way I do it. All right. I don't just FOMO in at the top. You know. But let's see what happens here. We're at resistance. I'm not saying this is the top either. But what I'm saying is, you know, the long trade I'm in right now is one that I planned for and I executed when the time was right. So for me, the time is not right at resistance when we've literally had 10 days to get into a good long trade from macro support. And like 107, 108 is macro support. So let's see. Let's see what happens here. We have about 45 minutes until New York opens. We're currently, you know, we're losing this level here. This is our liquidity grab. Let's move it all the way up. Yeah, this is our zone. Let's move this white box up. Move the white box up. I feel a consolidation and or drop before a bigger pump. That's what I feel in my bones. I feel in my bones. We're having open interest decreasing now, so we might have seen some of these longs actually close out. Let's go ahead and see what happened here. Oh my goodness. No, we haven't seen any of the longs close out. All the longs that opened in this candle are still open, guys. So this is a lot of money coming in on the long side. A lot of money coming in. If we can make another higher high, that is nice. Let's see. I guess shorts are closing out. Let's go ahead and put on our net shorts here. Yeah, some shorts closing out basically. Wow, that's interesting. We had a lot of shorts short the top there, then a lot of them closed out. Then we had a few open up. Now they're closing out now. So really, this move so far, longs are definitely in control of this. Longs are definitely in control because the short money is closing out. We're not seeing bearish CVD divergences. And the longs are holding. Like, we have hundreds of millions of dollars of longs right here, buys coming in. So very interesting to see how this is going to develop as New York opens. You know, very, very interesting to see how this is going to develop. Uh-oh. We're getting our second 15-minute candle here. It's opening up as a purple. Again, areas of interest right now would definitely be this. You know, coming down to bounce from this area. And let's go ahead and pull a local fib as well to get a local support here. So we definitely are interested in, let's pull the fib from here. And actually, let's even go ahead and take it a step further. Let's take a look at our volume of this little range here. Got our value area high. Let's go ahead and adjust this the way I like it. This is KCEX volume here, just so you know. Let's make our row size 200. Let's make our whoops. And our value area 70. All right, so we have our value area high right around here. Okay, down to our POC. All right, so this box is going to actually be a potential zone to look for a scalp long. If we get a move back down on our 15-minute chart, just dip into the box. That would be a great place to look. That's our Fibonacci golden pocket, our value area high, our POC of the range right there. And we have the stock market making a new all-time high right now. Shout out to Crypto Scarface, who says 114.5. Is it still a good level to short after that possible new all-time high? Yeah, 114.5, 114.6. That is the next golden pocket. This is actually an area of good interest for me right around there, Crypto Scarface. I've got that marked on my chart as well. And I hope we get a new all-time high. I'm really feeling like we could. This is crazy. Let's check out once again if this has made any change here. Yeah, look at that. I mean, more people are expecting a 50 basis point rate cut after this news, which is quite interesting. And, you know, the high time frames on market cipher, in my opinion, are primed for a massive pump. So if I'm confusing anybody, look, on the low time frames, would not be surprised if we get a dump here because of everybody who longed the news. On the high time frames, I'm super bullish, all right? And I've been bullish since September 1st. Go and watch all my videos. All right? So the reason why I'm being bullish and bearish at the same time here is because locally, this is just a news pump, all right? Can't be trusted. High time frame wise, we're holding macro support and we have extremely bullish divergences printing on the 3-day, the 2-day, the 1-day, the 4-hour, and all this. All right? So in the event of a big dump, I'm looking to long. I'm looking to add to this long. All right? I'm hoping that next week or the week after, the title of my video is $1 million long trade, you know, and we're making tens of thousands of dollars. That's my hope, okay? On the high time frame. So let's see what happens here. We're kind of giving back some of this news candle. And really our area of interest is going to be the white box coming back down to around 112.3 to 112.7, where we have most of the volume. The golden pocket, the 786 here. All right. Major shout out to everybody in the chat. Rate cuts with markets at their new all-time highs. Yeah, isn't that crazy, Joe Potter? Isn't it crazy? This just shows you how messed up the system is. Apparently, inflation is low. So then why is everything so expensive? right? Why is the stock market so expensive? If inflation is low, why is everything increased in value so much, right? It's quite interesting. And the rate cuts are going to make inflation worse. I mean, we're heading towards a hyperinflationary event. These rate cuts, we like to talk about them because we're into, you know, manipulating the system for our own monetary gain. Like, we understand, yeah, the system is headed for destruction, but on the way there, we can benefit from it. You know, on the way to hyperinflation, we can kind of benefit from it in the short term. And then hopefully we know when to jump off, right? But, yeah, this is not good. The fact that it really does seem fake. I mean, it does seem fake to me. You know, not fake as in it's not happening, but it's just so clearly manipulated. It's so clear that the consumer price index and inflation, all these numbers are fake. You know? The only reason I say that is because I've literally watched the price of things go up during the past few years when they were tightening, right? We've seen the price of everyday goods and services go up while they're telling us inflation is coming down. So there's a disconnect there between the on-paper economy and the real-life economy, right? You can't just double the money supply in literally 3 years. It is crazy. What's crazy is usually the Fed likes to cut rates when things are bad on paper, right? The last time we saw big rate cuts was during 2020, when they decided to shut down the whole world for some reason. That's when we saw the rate cuts, and that caused massive amounts of inflation. And then inflation got out of hand, so like, oh, we're going to have to increase rates until inflation's back down to 2%. They increase rates. Well, I don't know what happened on paper, but in real life, inflation did not come down, right? It's pretty wild. But yeah, when inflation goes up, the price of our crypto goes up too. How many steps do I get a day? Usually between 20 and 30,000, to be honest with you. Between 20,000 and 30,000 steps a day. I feel like that's a good sweet spot. 20,000 to 30,000 steps. Look, if you wanna feel good, look good, be strong, be lean, and also eat as much food as your heart desires with no restriction. The 20 to 30,000 step a day plus lifting heavy weights 2 to 4 times a week. That's the secret. That's the secret. That's the real secret. All right. You walk 4 miles a day outside. That's what's up. That's what's up. Do I count my steps manually? Yes. The whole time I'm streaming. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You know? Whatever. It's like 6 hours of walking. Well, you figure I do a lot of walking here. I'm on the computer every day. If I'm doing 2 live streams, that's 2 hours of walking. And then I got to prepare for the live streams, do my actual trading, do my other stuff, do TA, post in my Discord. That's another 1 to 2 hours of walking. That's 4 right there. Plus, I have a small farm. I'm outside literally all day working out in the gardens. I have a big property. So I'm outside another 3-4 hours playing with the kids, jumping on the trampoline, riding our bikes, riding our scooters, running all around, playing tag. Yeah, it's about 6 hours, man. And is that crazy considering historically humanity, for your average work day, which is like 8 to 10 hours, probably spent a good 60% of that on their feet walking around? That's probably pretty normal, right? It's probably pretty normal. But the Bitcoin price looks like we're holding this level. You have to walk the same days you lift weight. I like to walk on the same day. I lifted weights this morning before the stream, Yeah, I like to. I don't think walking affects your recovery. What really affects your recovery is lifting too much weights, lifting weights too frequently, and not sleeping enough. That will really affect your recovery. Shout out to Andre for the super chat. Can we look at ARB? Yeah, you have to sit on your butt because you don't have a treadmill. Well, you know, I have made videos and live streams before where I'm literally pacing around the room with my laptop. It's very difficult for me to sit still. I've conditioned my body so much to move. It's hard for me to... Everything I do, I'm moving. Like, if I'm preparing, like, you know, because sometimes I do public speaking in, like, a religious context, right? If I'm preparing something, I'm pacing around while I'm doing it. Like, if I'm on the phone, I'm pacing. I gotta walk. My brain and my body are connected. All right, let's check out ARB. My brain and my body are connected. No movement, no brain. I sit. It's typically when I'm taking a little nap. You know, and I am a big advocate of naps. I love naps. Take a nap if you can. You know. All right, so this is Arbitrum. It's a great project. Right now, we're at the POC. So we're waiting for basically a breakout and a back test. I would consider that this potentially is a breakout and a back test here. Let's go to our 2-day. The 2-day looks pretty good. I'd say this could be a breakout and a back test here, which means we could have like a valid, you know, we're kind of front running a little bit here, but assuming that we don't come below that last low, and assuming we break out of the trend line and go for the new all-time highs, this is a 16-to-1 risk-reward ratio right here. What would be nicer and more confirmation is actually a higher high and then the move, right? That would be more confirmation in my opinion. But definitely we have bullish divergence here. Then we have a change of market structure and we're consolidating at the POC. Now, just in general, remember, the POC is never a good place to take a trade. It means you're buying it completely fair price. But given the context of this bullish structure here and the support resistance flip that we are at, we can kind of assume, especially given the fact that like our 2-day, our 3-day are giving us very bullish signs, bullish money flow, we can assume that the probabilities are extremely high in our favor that we will start to pump here. All right, which means as for a spot buy is definitely good. And let's just go, you know, I mean, even if we make a new low, which I highly doubt here, just shooting for old all-time highs is a 7-to-1 risk reward. So objectively speaking, this is actually a good buy on spot, given the bullishness of the oscillator and all that. We make a new all-time high, you know, let's say we come up to $3.50. That's still 11 times more reward than risk here. We technically are buying at fair price, but also we understand once we come above fair price, we're going to get that, most likely going to get that big move, like a giant kind of bump and run pattern, you know. So really what we would hope for is the better entry would be come up, get one more last rejection from the trend line, and then long that POC. All right, that could get you a more ninja entry, you know, but even right now I'd say a starter position on spot for sure is definitely not a bad buy. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor, just the guy in the treadmill. All right. Major shout out to Rib Prime. What's up, JC? Do I mind to look at TON? All right, we can take a look at TON real quick, and then I got to head out of here because I have a VIP live stream in the Casper crew. Let's take a quick look at TON. Thank you so much for the super chat. This is the 3-day. Let's go to the daily. So we do have a nice bullish divergence here, and now we're forming our range. So it looks like a nice low of the range. It's tough. It's a toughie. So we made a higher high. We're bouncing from our 786. Now we're getting a little bit of retracement back to the POC. I mean, look, so we're at the POC here. We have a little bit of bullish div here on our daily as we're coming to the POC, forming this falling wedge on the low time frames. It actually looks pretty good. You know, it looks good. We have a bullish divergence here after a nice low, a higher high, a higher low, right into the 786. Come to the value area high or back testing the POC. You know, is this the best entry in the world? No, but I would say it's safe to assume that the 786 was a nice higher low, and then we can shoot for a higher high. The support resistance flip is going to be almost 3-to-1, not quite. But if we do break the support resistance flip and we come back to the top of the range, that's an 8-to-1. So it's not really necessarily the best, but it's not the worst either. All right. So that being said, God bless you all. Shout out to Infinity Creations. I don't have time to look at ETH right now, but thank you for the super chat, and I'm bullish on ETH. So that being said, God bless you all, and I'll see you next time. Peace!